You know those characters in anime who are all sunshines and rainbows, but then when someone pushes them too far, they become absolute rage incarnates? They're the stars of today's video. We're diving into some of the most epic moments in anime, where the nicest of guys get angry and let their fists do the talking. But before we jump into the listing, don't forget to like this video and subscribe to my channel for more top 10s, lists, and other anime-related content. Plunderer might be considered mid for its sloppy characters and mediocre storyline, but this insane moment where our nice and kind MC becomes a stone-cold killer is simply unforgettable. Licht is usually carefree and goofy, always flirting and acting like a total clown, but when pushed to his limits, even this man has a breaking point. In his fight against Sonohara, one of his old teammates, this crazy woman massacres dozens of innocent citizens, and even shoots our MC's trusted friend just to make him angry. Even then, our guy maintained his cool, and begged for the woman to stop the insanity. But when she crossed the line and tried to kill an innocent kid right in front of him, he's had just enough of this BS, and went full on rage mode.
僕はプランダラー
Izuku Midoriya is the definition of a kind-hearted hero. He always puts others before himself, fights to save everyone, and rarely ever lets anger control him. But during the final battle against Shigaraki, everything changes. When our guy sees Bakugo lying motionless, seemingly dead, his eyes go cold and he gets wrapped in a malicious dark aura. The usually rational and hopeful hero is gone, replaced by pure uncontrollable rage. But this only lasts for a moment as Mirio calms him down, saying that his friend was not completely dead. Turns out the ninja hero had risked his own life to enter into Bakugo's body in order to keep his heart pumping, all while stitching up his wounds. Right after hearing those words, our boy calms down, controls his overwhelming powers, and goes all out against Shigaraki. While we're gonna have to wait for the next season to see exactly what happens after that, I'm pretty sure we can expect a brutal showdown with a level of ferocity we've never seen before.
これだけの距離をどうにかできるわ。え？切られた？
Tanjiro from Demon Slayer is one of the kindest protagonists in anime who shows compassion even toward demons and tries to understand their pain. But when you push him too far, he becomes really terrifying. One of his most rage-fueled moments happens during his fight against Daki and Gyutaro in the Entertainment District arc, where our heroes were one step short of getting slaughtered. After watching Daki massacre dozens of innocent people right in front of him, our guy enters an absolute rage mode, with his usual gentle nature completely gone, replaced by pure unfiltered anger. With fierce eyes and a burning intensity, our MC taps into his breathing technique with a level of power we've never seen before. His speed skyrockets, and his attacks become so fierce that even Daki, one of the most powerful Upper Moon demons, truly felt fear. Although it was only for a moment, his rage focus made it feel like Tanjiro had become truly unstoppable.
全て嘘だったんじゃないかと思えるくらい腹の底から出た本音ぶっ殺してやる
In Jujutsu Kaisen, Itadori Yuji is one of the nicest guys you'll ever meet. He always tries to do the right thing, values human life, and even feels sympathy for his enemies. But when Mahito crosses the line, our boy's kindness turns into pure, unfiltered hatred. This happens right after the a-hole kills Junpei, our MC's dearest friend who gets manipulated and turned into a grotesque creature, and gets mercilessly killed right in front of our boy Yuji. That's the moment our MC snapped. Filled with deep hatred for the villain and enraged by his own helplessness, he puts all his strength into his attacks, trying to beat the absolute F out of the evil scumbag. Our MC, who has never once wanted to kill someone, charges at Mahito with murderous intent, every punch filled with rage and grief. And Mahito, who was casually toying with him until then, finally felt the pressure when he realized that Yuji wasn't just fighting anymore, he was out for blood. While the villain easily survived our MC's all-out attacks and eventually escaped from the scene, we got to see the guy finally bite the dust in the latest season. But I've already covered that moment in my previous video about revenge kills, so check it out if you want to hear the full story. Gyomei probably has one of the most tragic backstories in all of Demon Slayer. Despite being blind and poor, our guy dedicated his life to taking care of orphan children, providing them food, shelter, and brotherly love. But everything changed one night when a demon attacked their home, slaughtering dozens of kids in the process. Pushed to a corner, our guy had no choice but to fight the demon himself in order to protect the only girl who had survived. Although he had never fought against anyone in life, this man went absolutely feral on the demon and kept beating it up to a bloody pulp until the sun came out and turned it into ashes. Now you'd think he'd get a happy ending after all that, but no. Witnessing the nice and kind Gyomei rage so hard on the demon, this little girl got so scared that the once caring big brother suddenly seemed like a monster in her eyes. Despite him risking his life for the little girl, she tells everyone that he was the monster that killed all of her friends and gets the man imprisoned for it. Truly tragic.
こう言った。あの人は化け物。みんなあの人がみんな殺した。
Naruto is one of the kindest protagonists in anime who always tries to see the good in people. From time and time again, we've seen him try to relate to his enemies and talk them into becoming good guys. But the one time he actually felt pure hatred for an opponent was when he fought against Pain. Pain destroys the Hidden Leaf Village and kills Hinata right in front of our MC's eyes, making him go total berserk. Losing all control, his usual cheerful and hopeful personality gets wiped away, replaced by pure rage and malice. In that instant, Naruto gives in to the Nine-Tails' primal force, and his body gets covered in a red demonic cloak. His speed, strength, and aggression skyrocket, and even Pain, one of the most powerful enemies in the series, starts struggling to keep up. Watching the guy go from your regular ninja to an overpowered force of calamity, destroying anything and everything around him, was simply chilling. Honestly, this is one of those timeless moments in the series that showed just how serious and scary Naruto can be. You know shit's serious when a comedy character gets so angry that the screen goes black and white. Gintama is one of the weirdest anime out there, known for its quirky comedy and untraditional storyline. But what really makes it special is the way it gracefully shifts from comedy to more serious tones as the story progresses. In one such action-packed, serious arc, this old man gets done in dirty by the shogun, as he gets mutilated and forcefully separated from his lover. As if that wasn't enough, the scumbag chops off his limb and throws him like trash in front of the main characters. Then, in a surprising turn of events, as the villain continues to throw insults and laugh away like he's having the best time of his life, our MC launches a rage-filled attack that is simply ferocious. In just a matter of seconds, he takes down the bodyguard and lets the evil shogun know that his days are numbered. While the fight didn't end well for the good guys, it's definitely one of the coldest moments in Gintama, where our nice and goofy Gintoki showed a furious side that nobody saw coming.
おい、てめえを天井から地獄に引きずり落とすための俺たち5本の指がな。
Our MC from Mob Psycho 100 is the definition of a nice guy. He's quiet, humble, and avoids conflict whenever possible. Even when others insult him or try to provoke him, he stays calm and collected. But when an a-hole decided to mess with his precious kid brother, we got to see him get truly angry for the first time ever. At first, our guy keeps his emotions in check and tries to talk things out. But when the villain beats him up so bad that he almost falls unconscious, his rage explodes. His usual expression is replaced by raw fury, and his psychic powers go off the charts. Everything around him shakes violently, and his energy surges to unimaginable levels. The entire atmosphere becomes heavy as our guy blitzes around like a meteor, dragging his poor enemy around, using him like a punching bag. By the time the villain realized that he messed with the wrong person, it was already too late for him. There are only two words to describe this fight: utter domination. In Miss Kobayashi's Dragon Maid, things are usually lighthearted and fun, but that's exactly why it was so insane to watch our girl Toru go full-on rage mode. In the latest season, when one of the Harmony faction's dragons try to take Ilulu down, our MC, being as kind as ever, tries to protect the girl, only to get smacked right in the head. Then in the most chilling moment of them all, our girl Toru makes a badass entrance the very next second and completely goes berserk on the guy who hurt her loved one. Her eyes burn with fury, and her dragon instincts take over as she instantly dominates the dude with raw strength. She literally crushes the guy and sends him back right where he came from without even giving him a chance to fight back. To be honest, it was actually pretty surprising she didn't kill the dude given her obsession with the MC, but she broke his horns and erased his memories, so that's punishment enough, I guess.
なんだドワーフ、その目は人様の国で生を許されている分際で恥を知れ。
Will Surfer is a kind-hearted guy who's honestly too pure for the world. He may not have magic like others at the academy, but he never gives up and always pushes forward with sheer willpower. He trains hard every day and became an overpowered beast when it comes to physical combat. But that doesn't mean he's gained the respect of his classmates. Almost everybody at school looks down on him because he can't use magic, and he had to endure all sorts of bullying and hardships. But when some racist bastards insult his dwarven friends, our guys had enough. Now, unlike the others on this list, our man doesn't rage from the get-go. Instead, he politely asks the bullies to take back their words and apologize. Of course, that only made them even cockier, as they mocked our MC and his friends even further. Then it happened. The silent rage moment where our MC instantly takes down two of the a-holes like they were nothing. Right after that, he gets challenged by their leader to fight him in a tournament. And as you might have guessed, our MC totally dominates him and makes the guy apologize to the dwarfs. Simply satisfying. Now, it's a bit of a stretch to call Sugimoto a nice guy, but he's usually level-headed and avoids unnecessary bloodshed, so why not? Despite his rough past as a soldier, this man has a strong sense of justice and always tries to protect those he cares about. But when someone tries to hurt him or his friends, his rage turns him into an unstoppable force. One of his most intense moments happens when Asirpa was in danger. Throughout the series, Sugimoto treats her like family, always looking out for her. But when an enemy threatens her life, his usual restraint vanishes, and he becomes a beast of a man as his battle instincts take over. His attacks become brutal and merciless, completely overwhelming his opponent. He fights with a deadly precision, showing exactly why he earned the nickname Immortal Sugimoto. Even after getting injured in the fight, this man keeps dominating everyone, fueled by pure rage and determination. In Sengoku Youko, Shinsuke was one of the kindest and most light-hearted protagonists ever. Introduced as a comedy character, he was always the center of the jokes in the series and had an easygoing personality. At the start, everything seemed to be going great for him. He found 2 new buddies, had fun adventures, and even discovered true love as he met this girl who became romantically interested in him. But as if he was not allowed any happiness in life, right after the couple got a bit closer, disaster struck. This sadistic villain killed his girl in cold blood, and all our MC could do was get mad at himself for being too powerless to protect her. After that, his personality took a complete 180 as he dedicated his entire existence for revenge. Seeing the cheerful guy full of smile turn into a depressed, vengeful fellow was simply too heartbreaking to watch. He traveled all over the land, fought various opponents, learned different techniques, and finally took his long-awaited revenge. He dominated the guy who ruined his life in one-on-one showdown, and made sure to watch him take his last breath. Simply satisfying.
兄ちゃんが言った。次泣いたら人殺しになっちまう。
In Tokyo Revengers, Soya Kawada is usually the quieter and more timid guy despite always having an angry face. Unlike his fiery brother Smiley, our guy prefers to avoid unnecessary fights and stays rather passive even in tense situations. But when his breaking point is reached, he becomes a completely different person. His most terrifying rage moment happens during the battle against the Haitani brothers in the Tenjiku Showdown. When Soya and his friends were brutally beaten down, our guy, who had been trying to keep his emotions in check, completely snapped. Tears stream down his face, but instead of sadness, it's pure fury that takes over. What follows is one of the most insane comebacks in anime history. In his crybaby mode, our dude becomes completely unstoppable, taking down 4 insanely strong fighters one after another like they're nothing. The same guy who was getting absolutely bodied against the Haitani brothers is now a one-man wrecking crew, moving with a speed and strength that leaves everyone stunned. Now remember, this guy had his limbs broken when he pulled this stunt. Simply insane. I can't even imagine how strong he'd be if he was actually unhurt.
遅えな、三つ編み。
立場浮気めろ。
Here's a moment that literally nobody talks about. I know calling any of the Suicide Squad members a nice person is twisting the fact, but this time around, these guys were more or less behaving themselves in the Isekai world. With bombs ticking in their necks, they had a mission to establish a good relationship with the other world's kingdom. From saving their people to defending their borders, and even literally winning entire wars for them, these guys outdid themselves on several occasions. But what they got in return was pure hostility. Despite them risking their necks for literal strangers, they were treated like trash and looked down upon. Even then, our gang let it slide because they were pretty much used to such a treatment back in their own world. But when an a-hole official starts dissing Harley and lays a hand on her, our guys get so mad it literally sends chills down your spine. And then, our savage shark boy swallows that man in an instant, shocking the entire courtroom. And guys, if you love watching a-holes getting totally wrecked, check out these insane revenge moments where bullies get knocked out of their senses. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.